Well, we told our guys that Air Force was going to give us that a punch at some time, and that was in the very first quarter when we drove down and had a field goal blocked, and subsequently they scored, and then our team was going to have to respond, and they responded, quite well, obviously, from that. So that was the challenge to our football team, that something was going to happen early on, and they would have to respond, and they responded very, very well. And from then on, really played well defensively. Played a lot of players, got a lot of guys involved. I thought our defensive plan. We made some adjustments when they got the ball out on the perimeter. Started to make some checks. Got our corners involved. I think that was a nice adjustment that we made. And then offensively, Tommy was threw the ball very efficiently. He was on target, and really could really pick his spots. When we needed a play, he was able to make it. And so, again, scored, I think, 45 of the next 48 points after that touchdown. And that was, really, big for us. So, with that, questions?
Sure, people want to know who his physical therapist is after a day like this, but did you want to pull him out any earlier, or were you confident that he could stand up to whatever hitting he would get today?
Yeah, we were, again, when our doctors feel like he's cleared to play on a Tuesday, that was enough for us as we put him through, a battery of tests, and they're not going to clear him for contact unless they feel really good about it. So, yeah, we had no hesitation at all to get him through the game. Now, certainly we didn't want to, obviously put him in harm's way, but certainly felt confident to get him out there and play and compete.
Did you expect to pass as much as you did? Air Force played your running game pretty well early in the game.
Yeah, we thought their corners and safeties were extremely aggressive, a lot more than they had shown, and gave us the opportunity for some one-on-one matchups that we didn't think that we were going to get, quite frankly. And we were able to, to take advantage of them. We were able to get over the top of them.
Did you decide during the bye week? I mean, the answer yes is yes, I guess. But I mean, during the bye week, since the bye week, Will Fuller, you've gotten him much more involved. What have you seen from him?
Elite speed, and he will come down with the football. He sure-handed, and we saw, a potential contested ball late in the game where he comes down with it. Great speed, and we really like the way he tracks the ball.
Jalen kind of struggled a little early on, but seemed to pick things up pretty well after those second quarters. How do you assess his game today?
Well, I don't know that I would characterize struggle as much as we were in some coverages that really put him as the only player on the perimeter. We didn't help him very much, so we had to make some adjustments. We got caught into some checks that we didn't expect to make, that were some automatics within our not old system, but our normal system. Now we're playing an option team, and we really can't go to some of those default checks, so we had to make some changes there. He battled, played well. He's just a tough physical kid, so it was just a matter of time to get him some support. Once we were able to play some more cover two and roll the corner to the field, then we got the game back in control a little bit better. Once the ball was able to stay within the defense, we were in a much better situation.
Coach, Chris Watt went down in the end of the first half, and he didn't come back in the second half. Do you have an update on him?
Yeah, strained knee, but he played a little bit in the second half. Bumps and bruises, throughout the game. Number of guys. I don't have any specifics right now on most of these guys. I'll know a lot more when they check in tomorrow, and they'll get a full evaluation from our doctors, and I'll have a lot more for you guys on Monday.
As much as you guys threw the ball, you were in two tight ends on the field for almost the whole game, it seemed like. What did you see that you wanted to get the double tight look out there?
Well, we think Ben Koyak is a guy that we wanted to get more playing time for. We think he's somebody that as you saw, we got them matched up. We felt like there were some particular matchups that we could get with Ben on the field that we liked. He's got good size, good hands, and you saw him catch a touchdown on a particular matchup we liked. And again, when you're playing a 3-4 team, you know, you like two tight ends because it spreads out that 3-4 a little bit more, gives you some bubbles in there that you like in terms of the run game.
Brian, I know you talked about this before, but the character of Tommy Reese after the injury last week, coming back 17 of 22, 5 touchdown passes. He just keeps coming back every time.
Well, he's played well, you know, except for the interception against Arizona State, where I thought he played very well against Arizona State, coming off a subpar performance against Oklahoma. Played well against Arizona State. You know, thought clearly he was playing well against USC until he got injured. We really felt like he's been playing well, and you know, doing some things that really putting the ball in great locations. I'll just give you one example. TJ's catch, a couple of his catches, the ball position was outstanding, but the one in particular that I liked was Chris Brown's touchdown catch. It was put in a position where he was the only one that was going to catch it. So he's making those kinds of throws, even if you're covered right now. If Tommy can continue to make those kinds of accurate throws, throwing away from the defenders, you know, he's going to continue to have success.
What's the significance in your mind of guys like Fuller, Robinson, you know, Quack's second touchdown, Brown, kind of getting their first real taste or a different level of involvement in the game?
I'd like to have these guys in week 1 and week 2 doing this. If we, you know, you'd like to get these kinds of opportunities for these young guys early, you know, because it obviously builds their confidence. They're a really confident group, and so when you get them involved, especially these young guys, it's so important, you know, to their development. So sometimes you got to sit on them a little bit longer than you want because you're playing such tough competition. But they're developing, they're growing, and it was good to see them have some success tonight.
How did it feel like the offensive line held up today? You shuffle a lot of guys in there to spot the
Yeah, I mean, we had, you know, we got beat on one twist game, you know, before the half where Tommy got sacked. You know, we had to kick Hanratty over to left guard. He sacked a little bit too much, but by and large, you know, they were fine. We got the ball out quickly. We'll have to take a look at the film, but we were moving pieces around a lot there today.
Brian, was there a takeaway from the way Cam and Folston ran so hard late in the game, or was it a different circumstance than earlier?
No, we went a little bit more to gap schemes. We're having some problems with the nose penetrating, and you know, we're a zone inside outside zone team, as you know. The nose was, you know, Nick was on an island pretty much in the 3-4. Nose was getting a lot of penetration, so we went more. We started to block down a nose and pull. Had a little bit more success with some gap schemes in the third quarter, which was a change up from what we had been doing. So I think that mix of putting some gap schemes into the third quarter opened up some running game for us.
Coach, how big were those two turnovers? First half, they're driving late in the half. Could have been a 7-point game to get in the end zone, and then their first possession in the second half.
Well, I think they're huge. I think anytime that you separate yourself with 2 scores against a team that runs the option, they're huge. You even saw, you know, in the third quarter there that they went to some spread, and we got them behind the chains there for one series because we went up 2 scores. So they were big turnovers. There's no question about it. But I think we kept the pressure on them offensively, which was the key. We kept scoring points, and I think the turnover and then consequently the scores on offense, piling those points up and keeping it separated, put them under a lot of pressure today.
How would you evaluate Andrew Hendricks' performance?
A lot better than last week's.
Coach,
Getting back to maybe the beginning of 2011, you guys have won all the games that you've been predicted to win mostly. How important is that big picture wise in building that consistency of the farm program?
Well, I don't know that we look at what we're supposed to do in terms of, projections. We want to win, every game that we play, right? And so our guys have goals, and the goal is to win every week. And this is the second, as we've talked about, and we've had this discussion, is that we've kind of broken down this second half of the season of 6 games. This is week 2. Now we go into week 3. We want to win each and every week because our guys, they want to win 10 games, but you can't win 10 unless you win 6 and win 7. So they've stayed on task. They prepared very well this week, even amidst, midwinter break and going on the road. They prepared. They did a very nice job. They've always prepared very well. We're going to have to do that again this week against Navy.
Anything more?
Good.
Thanks, guys.